Hi, I'm Alex McCord, and welcome to The Real Deal on thestir.com. Today we are discussing more mama drama from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, some New York City gossip, and oh my goodness, the decline of Brandi Glanville in Beverly Hills. Can you believe it? First, let's get to Atlanta. Last night we saw episode 7 of season 6, and did you hear about the OMG, old lady gang, that is? It's Cynthia Bailey's turn for Mama Joyce and the aunties, and I love it. The old lady gang fights mean and down and dirty. While a thug in a cocktail dress might smile and stab you in the back, an OLG is going to take her shoes off and throw you down the stairs. Kandi wanted some girl support, and who better to talk to than Cynthia Bailey? If you remember a few seasons back when Cynthia got married, she didn't have any family support either. It was a beautiful scene, but then I noticed something. Did you see it too? Kandi started to cry, and Cynthia threw up her hands and said, "Lord have mercy, let me go get the tissues." And did you see Kandi give Cynthia the side eye? Are you effing kidding me? I'm crying, and you're throwing up your hands and being melodramatic for effect? The look on Kandi's face when Cynthia came back with the tissues was, "You're stepping on my screen time." It was a crazy look if I had ever seen one. This is my scene, not yours. Next, let's let Mama Joyce speak for herself. She dropped in on Phaedra at her law office and gave her some misinformation about Todd. Now, this is where reality TV can keep you honest. Mama Joyce is not telling the story the way it happened, and the cameras show that. Remember that Todd was a Housewives producer first. And you hear Mama Joyce say to Phaedra, "You know all these lawyers and you had to introduce her to a worker?" She means a worker on the show. Now, Phaedra defends her choice, and it is completely plausible that the introduction could have happened. Typically, every housewife has their own producer, or maybe they share the producer with one other person. So Kandi could have not met Todd, and Phaedra could have introduced her. In any case, it was only a few episodes ago that Phaedra told Apollo that she was seconds from cutting out his tongue. Well, Phaedra gets to see what it's like to be on the other side, as Mama Joyce says she wants to choke her. Last stop for Atlanta this week, the lateness. Let's talk about it. Nene is trying not to be angry that all the girls are late for her getaway trip. Now, don't forget, to these ladies, it's not a real girls' getaway trip. It's showing up to work. It's a job. They're shooting a TV show. Now, a lot of Housewives production crew fly around the country from city to city working on every show, depending on who is filming at the time. And I have heard some cocktail-fueled gossip about what goes on down there. I have heard that the Atlanta ladies are the worst when it comes to showing up on time. That things can start hours late. So, Kenya Moore is screaming at the ladies for being unprofessional co-workers, but to you and me watching, it looks like she's screaming at her friends for being late for the trip. Now, the thing is, either way you look at it, with your behind-the-scenes glasses on, or if you just take it at face value, either way, it's rude, but they bring it in a storyline because since Kenya is the one to speak up and everybody hates her, they all got to jump on her. But let's talk about Beverly Hills for a moment. Can you believe what you are seeing? Let's review. Carlton hates Kyle. Kyle hates Yolanda. Yolanda hates wrinkled sheets, and Brandi is really freaking drunk. Does that about sum it up? Whew, I feel that Beverly Hills is getting as toxic as New York, and that is saying something. Now, let's talk about that pool peer pressure drama. Don't you think that the Beverly Hills ladies just did not want to mess up their hair, their makeup, their spray tan, and their cute pool outfits? Once again, not wanting to get into the pool and get wet made for good storyline. Also, this week, we have a clear-cut example of how reality TV can screw up real life. Brandi Glanville. Okay, when you do the Housewives, the pay is decent, but it's not enough to support a family or live large. You're advised to go off and do appearances, start businesses, build a brand. I've done it, Brandi's done it, everybody does it. That's why people host parties and casinos, write books, and sell product. Now, all of those ventures require business partners, most of whom don't understand the workings of reality TV, which causes what I like to call the crazy vortex world of surreality. Brand partners love you or hate you, depending on what's happening that week, what people are saying about you online right now. I will never forget, years ago, a castmate planted a false and truly vicious story about me, and I had to spend days talking that client down off the cliff. Also, another time I got a gig that another housewife was up for as well. The reason I got it is they didn't like how she came across that week. Real life jobs and real money depend on something the housewives cannot control: the editing and what people are saying about you online. Now, apply that to Beverly Hills. If you're following the online gossip, Brandi Glanville was fired this week from an appearance at the Hard Rock Cafe in Florida because of the racist comments she made on last week's episode about Joyce, aka Jacqueline. If you're in Brandi's shoes, imagine this. You do it once. You wake up sober up in the morning and realize you said something really stupid. Then, months later, you see it edited for dramatic effect on TV and the court of public opinion is out for blood. She tried to head it off in a blog, but it did not work. I am so glad I am not Brandi this week. Speaking of bad behavior and clubs not wanting you, Bethenny ran into some trouble this week when she tried to enter a party at the nightclub Tao. Now, on the face of it, this seems strange. Pretty much everyone I know in New York has been to Tao, including Bethenny, and getting in is not rocket science. Apparently, it was a private party, and for whatever reason, her name was not on the list. Now, that could have been a mistake, or it could have been a PR setup. I wouldn't put it past one of Bethenny's enemies to invite her, leave her name off the list, and make sure the TMZ cameras were there to capture all the fun. However, Bethenny did not do herself any favors by trying to sneak under the velvet rope. Why didn't she just text the host? That was going a little too far. But speaking of New York, finally, the Real Housewives of New York City are coming back. And the 5-second commercial is all about Aviva, poor girl. Well, it had to be about somebody. Certainly wasn't going to be Luann, because apparently she made producers very angry by breaking up with Jacques right after they wrapped filming, making her entire storyline obsolete. But in any case, the ladies will be back in spring after 18 months of waiting. Are you excited? Well, let me know what you thought in the comments. For now, I am Alex McCord. You're watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. See you next time.